Cool, so I think we are ready to start the stream for today. Let me just quickly share the link on the Discord as well, and then we can get going with our today's project. So let me see. Okay, so just some quick description, I guess. And let me just close a couple of tabs that we don't need anymore. Okay, and I think also let me just check some. Well, we can check the reference art a little bit later, I guess. Let me show you what we're actually gonna work on today. So I am close to getting my application for the game maker ready, and basically we need to make a bunch of assets for our game, and it's basically like advice to start with the blocks so we can kind of make the whole layout and everything, and then later on we can make like more detailed assets and stuff. So let's see basically which kinds of blocks we need to start with. So maybe we can start just by making some simple grass block. Of course there's one already in the game maker, but it would kind of look boring if all the games had the same grass and whatnot. So let's start with that, and we'll see how many blocks we can make today. So let's go to block. I actually don't use this often, so we'll see how it goes. Let's create new asset. And also maybe let's make a separate folder for this. So let's create folder Ascension. That's what the game is gonna be called. And then maybe let's create folder blocks, just so we have it a little bit organized. And we said that this first one that we're gonna make is gonna be the grass. I'm just thinking whether we should add the block in the name or not. And also it's probably good to add it at the start, so we have all the blocks grouped together when we order them by name. So maybe block underscore grass. That looks like a pretty good name. Okay, so we have our cube. And before we actually, also let me import the palette. So let's load the palette. Now let's go to Vox, edit palettes, and this one is the extended one, right? Okay, so that's what we got right now, and maybe we can just check out some reference images just so we kind of know what we're working with. So one option would be to look in the Minecraft where there's like this grass dirt block. Let me see if I can find that. But I have noticed that in Minecraft they're like cheating a little bit with the textures, because they are like separate for the sides. And actually, let me just show you an example here. Oh, and also the keyboard shortcuts aren't working still, so that's gonna be fun. Okay, so basically when I color this one, you can see that it has two faces and it's visible on both sides. But now I think if we, let me just, okay, open image in new window. If I show you this one and we zoom in a little bit, let me, you can see here that, for example, this voxel doesn't have two sides of the same color, so there's like a little bit of discrepancy. But basically, you get the idea. We make like a brown base with some texture and then some grass on top. And just not to make it too similar to what we already have, let's check what the grass blocks already look like in the game maker. just so perhaps ours can look a little bit different. Okay, let's wait for a moment or two for it to load. Okay, and you can kind of see that I have already started like with the map, but that's not gonna be the final one. It's just like some ideas, and I have also been testing these fences that we're gonna be using. Okay, and here are the grass blocks, so let's see if we can search by grass. Okay, so we have grass 1, grass 2, soil with grass. We have quite some blocks already. Let's just, oh no, not like that. Okay, so basically one type of a block is like this and the other one is like that. And now we can go and check it out in the game as well. So this one is like a little bit more intense, but they both have, yeah, they're both the same texture, right? I'm pretty sure they are. It's just the top color that's changed. So we have these for kind of like references, and now let's get going here. So we can probably split it like, so we already know that it's 32 by 32 voxels, and maybe like the top quarter can be grass, so maybe like about 8 voxels on the top side, and then the rest is gonna be dirt. So let me just fill this in, and also that. Let's not forget about that. And now also, what's this one? Screen rect tool. I don't know what this one is for, to be honest. And now for the grass, we have a couple of options. We can go with this one that has like 5 shades. Have this one that is a little bit more extended. It has 6 of them. Also, this one is a little bit more alive, maybe, but I think this one is pretty good. So let's go ahead, and so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So something like that. And then let's try to add some dynamics into it, and I'm also trying to figure out over which axis we should be mirroring. We could do it with 2, so over X and Z, but then we would have, it would be like very obvious that we have some patterns, so we should probably mirror only across one axis and then do the second side, which would look a little bit different. So from that aspect, let me just see. So we are mirroring over the red one, so we should start working here, I think, because we're mirroring across over to this side. Okay. And also this isn't working. So that's the reason why I don't like the block maker, because the shortcuts don't work. And I have like gotten pretty used to working with them. So maybe let's add a couple of imperfections there, like we can make some dirt going a little bit into the grass, and then we'll also extend some grass like downwards. So we still have this line in the middle, but we make it a little bit more dynamic, and you can see it's already mirrored onto the other side. So now let's see how we can maybe do something with the grass here, maybe some overhang on that side, maybe a little bit here. Just some minor details. And like making, so you can see like these are all kind of the same, but this one kind of sticks out. I think there was an option. Is this it? Okay, so we can see here how it kind of goes together, or how it loops if you put multiple blocks next to one another. And here you can see like these two, or especially this part is a little bit too extended, so let's maybe reduce it by a little bit. So maybe something like this looks more appropriate. But now this is kind of the same mirror of this one. So let's see, maybe we can do this here. Yeah, maybe we can go with something like that. Or not. Actually, we didn't actually fix anything here, to be honest. So we need to get rid of that. Then maybe something like this could work. Yeah, and also we keep this line. So I guess that's for the start on one side, and then let's do something similar onto the other one. So maybe here this part can be like a little bit longer, and then can make it like so. Then let's make some green. A little bit too much there, actually. Something like this, maybe. And sometimes like these cutoffs are like really large, so in those cases you can add like additional voxel to kind of smooth it out. But I think after we start adding some more colors, it would hopefully look even better. So you can see here we made it like a little bit less inline, or more like going all over the place. So we'll see how that turns out. Maybe let's put one here, something like this, and then let's maybe make some of the dirt go into the other direction. Maybe this part can be like extended by a little bit. So something like this. And now if we turn on the ghost, we can kind of see how this all gets together. So maybe this part can be reduced by a little bit, or at least on this side we can make it like it completes a little bit more nicely. I don't know. So I think we are looking at that part, right? So let me grab some green, maybe do something like that. Let's see if that actually helped. I think we we worked on the wrong thingy. So let's see, this one is by 3 and then 2. Where can we find that? Okay, so that's actually here. So we need to mirror over this one again. So maybe something like this, and then we can make this detail more onto the right, so it kind of doesn't interfere as much. So let's check it out here. So that's pretty good. Okay, so let me check out the reference for a moment. Cool. Now, of course, we would make the dirt like that's next to this grass like a little bit darker, because of course it's casting like a little bit of shadow or something like that. So let's just nope, that's the wrong side. Since we're mirroring, we should do this side first. And now I'm just doing one voxel underneath, so we are not doing like a complete outline. We'll see what we get in the end. And then should we decide to do some more anti-aliasing, we could just select one color brighter and then kind of do it like this in steps. But we'll see if we decide to go with that. So let's first get over to the other side and let's do the same thing. And also, let's not forget to use the same color as we have here. So got it here, and just the last couple of voxels, so it adds a little bit of depth. And what I was thinking for this second one, if we just simply add it underneath, of course I'm drawing on the wrong side again. If we just add it underneath, it kind of works, but I was thinking whether it would look better if we did some of these, like, I don't know what to call it actually, but to kind of smooth these transitions a little bit, or to make it a little bit wider. Although in places like this we can end up with like a lot of dark color, or like here we would be left with something like this, which I'm not too big of a fan. Let's see what it would. I mean, here it kind of looks a little bit more smooth. Maybe just on some places we can do that, but we'll have to figure them out first. So I guess we can continue this pattern, just adding like a little bit brighter color underneath the darker brown, but we'll try to make it a little bit more smooth in the end. So let's mirror across the other axis just to complete the second side, and then we can go into this re-ghost, I guess, mode to kind of see what we have created here. And wait, we missed one, so let's turn this on. Oh, come on. Okay, I think we got them all right. And now if we turn this on, it kind of works. I'm just thinking maybe like add another one here, or maybe this one is kind of sticking out because it's just a single voxel. Maybe we can do something like that to make it a little bit more smooth. Maybe here. And then we can also kind of suggest some direction, like here, because we added this voxel in this corner, it's leaning a little bit more to the left. So there's that. If we were to add one here, I don't know. Perhaps since we're kind of making it like considering this one, the shadows fall more to the left side, maybe we can do something similar here, and maybe we can do it here as well, just to kind of show like the light is coming from the same source. And I did something similar here. You can see that this corner is not darker, but the left one is. So maybe just some little tricks we can do here. And then maybe we can do the same thing for the other side. So maybe let's add here, a little bit. I guess it would go here, right? Also let's fill that one voxel, just so we have a little bit more straight lines, and then maybe something like this. Let's see. I guess that's fine. And then also what most of these dirts have, I mean, let me save first, just so we don't lose some progress. And if we go here, we can see that the texture is kind of just being hinted by using some different colors of brown. And for the other reference image, let me just see how I can swap between the windows. So if we look at the Minecraft block, I guess we... Oh, and this one is still zoomed in. Okay. Can I zoom out? Okay. And here we can see like we have some gray particles like stones or something like that. So I think we can go with a little bit more Minecraft-ish style. So I guess I'll add some of these squares or rectangles. I mean, I'm not sure, to be honest. Okay, where's the Minecraft block? So many windows. Okay, so I'm not sure. I guess we can count how many pixels these faces have, just to kind of get a rough idea of how big these stones are. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this is basically half the resolution. So basically one pixel on this block is kind of 4 translated into the Sandbox universe. So I think we should be fine if we make like a couple of stones like this. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out where they would be like kind of nicely spaced apart, but also they would like create this pattern when we put them one next to the other. So maybe something like this. Nah, I think this could work maybe. We'll see. And also let's not keep these two at the same height, so maybe let's move one a little bit downwards, just so it looks a little bit more natural. So there we have them for one side, and I kind of want to make them for both sides so we can see the ghost, what it looks like, before we go into too many details that we would have to correct later on. So let's change the flip axis or the mirror axis, and now we kind of need to see, of course we're not gonna make one stone here because it would make much more sense to make it either here above or underneath to kind of continue this pattern a little bit. So maybe we can try to squeeze one here at the top, and also it kind of bothers me that we don't have nice lines for this tool, because this is just a little bit too many lines if you ask me. So yeah, you either have none or all of them. There's no middle ground. And now here we can kind of do something like this. But I think these two in the middle are a little bit too much towards the left, so maybe let's try to fix that. And also let's move this one somewhere here. Okay, now you can see again we have like this little problem that these two on one of the sides are like kind of similarly placed, so maybe we can move this one actually a little bit downwards. Wait, what? Okay, we have picked the wrong color. And then maybe we move this one a little bit upwards and towards the left. And then this one can be, I guess this one, that one is fine. So I guess something like this maybe. Then let's turn this off. Then if we put them on like here, you can again see that maybe these two stones aren't like ideally placed, but other than that I'm pretty happy how it turned out here. So basically we just need to move either the most left one or the rightest one just a little bit downwards. So where our problem arose were with this one or this one. So let's see, we're mirroring over the blue axis, just kind of which would be easier to fix. So you can see now this is the corner that we have a little bit of problems with. So I'll just try to move this stone a little bit downwards. So let's get rid of that. Let's pick this color and then let's move it maybe a little bit more towards the middle. as far as the height is concerned, maybe 1 voxel lower as well, just so there's like some space in between. Let's see. So this looks fine. Okay, so I guess we'll need to figure out some other way to make our pattern. Or we can just, we might be putting too much emphasis on this and it might not be as apparent once we add some details to these stones, but again, we're just kind of incrementally correcting some of these issues. So let's get rid of that one. We are still mirroring over the blue axis, so that's correct side to be working on. And then if we move this one like a little bit more towards here, let's see if we have some issues. So this corner looks fine. Now this corner looks a little bit not that good. But on the third side it kind of looks good again. So now let's try to see if we can just make a little, come on, a little change, just so they're not in the same line, maybe something like that. Let's see. So I guess that's enough working on these stones, and let's see how we can make them like a little bit different or interesting. Oh, and we're working on the wrong side again, so we should be making details here. So maybe this one is oriented that way, this one is here, then maybe let's make that one look like this, and then for this one just make, so these are like the major stones, and then we can add a couple of smaller ones, maybe one here, just so it covers the pattern a little bit. So something like this could be pretty interesting. Maybe let's put, yeah, a little bit downwards, just trying to make them kind of organized, but then again not too organized, because then it doesn't look natural anymore. So something like this looks pretty fine for one side, and then let's switch our mirroring axis, and also here we can pay some attention to kind of what it looks like together with the other side that we also see from this axis. So maybe this stone can be a little bit bigger, then here it can be a little bit smaller, then let's put this one here, maybe an L shape, maybe some diagonals, and then just some spots here and there. But I'm kind of trying to keep the same amount, we could call it, on both sides, just so it's not like one side is full of stones and the other one is like empty. That also doesn't look too right. So I kind of prefer this distribution, but maybe if we make this into an L, it would look a little bit better. Yeah, just something like that. And then we can add even some more details with darker and brighter shades of these stones. So maybe towards the bottom we can make them a little bit more darker. Let me undo that. Oh my. Okay. Something like this maybe. and then for the other side as well. And what so we can also add like a little bit of this depth or whatever. You can see that like more of the smaller stones towards the top are like this bright gray, and towards the bottom they're like this darker shade that we have introduced now. So this one is gonna be dark. Okay. So I think I wanna keep all of this, yeah, just two of them bright. Maybe like there, maybe like there. So we got something like that, and also I'm trying to get rid of this cube, so it's more of an L shape once we are done with that. Okay, so now we have added our stones, and next what we can do is either to use these darker browns to add some details to it, or we could go to a different brown palette altogether. So we can try what it would look. Yeah, we can add some details with these other browns. Now I'm just trying to figure out kind of what would make sense. I mean, we could either just throw them around randomly. That's one option. That's kind of what the Minecraft, and we can't even undo all of them. Kind of what the Minecraft block looks like. But if you go ahead and look at the Sandbox ones, you can see that it's just kind of hinted depth. So I'm not really sure kind of which I would prefer here. One option would be to kind of, no, let me pick this color. Oh, so this is still too bright. So with something like this, we could kind of hint at like some cracks or whatnot. That would be one option, though I would kind of prefer this to go for maybe stones, something like that, although it doesn't look that bad. Maybe if we just use the kind of this color, so like just adding a couple of different layers. Let me see. Where can we? So these are more like going a little bit up and down, but mostly horizontally. It's kind of, let's see what we get with this texture, although I'm not too sure. I think the random one would look a little bit better, so let's try to undo as many as possible. Yeah, okay. And now I guess here we can use this one for a little bit brighter shades. And let's see. So maybe this can be just like random dots here and there, and then in between them we can try to squeeze some of these darker dirt layers and whatnot. So here we have a couple, and I think I want to squeeze another one here towards the right, just so it kind of balances out. And here at the top, maybe we can try to do it on this side. So let's change the mirroring. Let's see, here. So we're just kind of making like a net, I guess I could call it. So if we were to connect these in between, it would look kind of like a spider's web. Yeah, I guess kind of nodes of the web, kind of. So let's see what this looks like now. Okay, so we got some more variety in our dirt. We can also make just, oops, that's the wrong side, just a couple of them like be 2 voxels long. They don't need to be all just like one in length. So maybe we can have a couple here, then maybe a couple on the other side. Let me switch the mirroring axis again. So that would also be helpful if there was some shortcut to quickly change, like perhaps in some newer version of VoxEdit we might actually get it. We'll see. And now with this, I think we can squeeze one more here, just for the sake of it. And again, we can add like some more variety of color by just going one shade darker, and then okay, so this is like really similar. This one is kind of difficult to distinguish. So I guess let's not replace them, maybe let's just add it next to them. So something like this, I guess it kind of helps a little bit with the transition, and also add some more texture to our creation. And we can also spread these like randomly in between. So I kind of like these this color because it doesn't stand out too much, but once you get near it, it kind of adds like quite some additional details. So let's switch the side to go onto the other one, and also we can make like some anti-aliasing shapes here, I guess, next to these colors. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's finish that first. So just try it here and there. Okay, let's not keep them like in the same line. Let's move them at least a little bit, if possible, of course. Then here we have like this pretty large empty space. We can squeeze one in there. No. Yeah, pressing Windows and Z doesn't work as well as pressing Windows or as pressing Control and Z for undoing the stuff. And then maybe one more here, just to kind of break this, and then maybe one voxel there, something like that. Okay, that looks kind of interesting, I guess. And now if we put it together, we kind of get like this kind of uniform texture. It doesn't look as... I mean, we don't have the same problems as we had with those stones where they looked like they formed too obvious patterns or something like that. And now for this color, I'm just trying to figure out how much of it I want to use down here. So let's see, we're mirroring across the red axis, so let's start here. So maybe a couple of these darker shades can be replaced with this color, but then again, not too many, because we have like a lot of it here at the top, and it would kind of... I mean, as long as we keep it scarce, I think it looks fine, but using too much of it would or might ruin our texture. So like 2, 4, 6, something like that. And then on to the other side. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 maybe, 4, then maybe 1 underneath here. Just so we kind of try to balance it out. Let's see if we have like some really obvious weird looking parts, but I think it looks quite fine for now. Cool. So I'm pretty satisfied with the dirt texture. So now I guess we can move on to the grass one. So let's save that. And then for the grass we use this base color here, so basically in the middle, so we can still go 2 shades darker or 2 shades brighter. So now we can just kind of try to figure out what this darker shade is, and also kind of what it looks like when we add it onto our grass. So for starters, let's just color the first voxel that touches the dirt with it, like this. And we'll kind of see a little bit later what else we can do with it. And now then this would be like this middle color. So now we can kind of put more emphasis on some of these longer grasses, I guess, or roots that are kind of like overflowing a little bit. So we can put some more emphasis onto them by making them like longer or darker. And we're kind of trying to end up with a little bit more uniform line here. Underneath we have like pretty substantial jumps, like up and down, and here we're just gonna kind of try to smooth it out. Maybe something like that. Something like this could work, I think, just so we have like certain parts that use a little bit more of this dark green and other parts that don't use as much. And now we can go a little bit into anti-aliasing here. So we're just kind of trying to smooth it out even more. So something like that, perhaps. And then again, we can try to make like some, I guess the actual well, it's all anti-aliasing in the end. So I guess we could try to make like some of these darker grasses go into this brighter part here at the, that's gonna be like our surface area. So let's see, maybe we can just trying to figure out where it would kind of make sense to put some of these grasses. So I guess that's like a decent start. And then let's move on to the second side. So let's swap our mirrors. Let's pick the darker color again. And I guess we can just repeat the process from before. So first we add the dark shade here, and then we kind of smooth it out. Maybe something like this. Let's see what I did here. So some holes like this are, I guess, fine for later on, but from this aspect, also let's try to do something here. Okay, I guess that's pretty decent. And now let's add this middle green color that we have. So we got something like this going on. I mean, just kind of trying to keep it similar to this side. So I'm looking a little bit over at it every now and then. So something like this, and then let's just add these minor thingies that are kind of sticking into it. And also here it's kind of obvious that, I mean, it's like really symmetric that we have two of them on each side. Maybe we can do it like so. So it looks a little bit more natural, like there's a wider and a narrower part. And just something like that. Now we can save. We can compare it to see if we have like any issues with the texture not looping properly. I think it looks quite fine. And now we can do just some transition. So okay, we already have the color that we want. So we can just add like a couple of dots here and there. And let me just check, we should be working on this side due to our mirrors here. Let's see. Like that's too many. Too many voxels of this darker color, I think. So let's go ahead and maybe that's too much towards the top. Maybe let's add one more here. Could do it like this and then maybe move this. And this one can be like a diagonal too. Nothing wrong with that. Just so we have like a little bit of transition as well towards this top side. And now let's do kind of a similar thing for the other side. Oh, we don't have the line tool, we have the rectangle or box tool, what it's called. So we can't really draw a line, but we can do it the other way. So I guess there's a couple, maybe we could add one more here just for the sake of it. And of course at the top I think we're gonna have to use like some combination of these greens. Maybe what if we could add one, oh, mirroring again. We could add another one here. And I guess now we can even move on to the brighter shades of this green. So we add a couple of details here at the top, and I don't really think we need any kind of mirroring for that. So let me just randomly throw, maybe we can use the line tool. It's gonna work a little bit better in this case if we want to draw some diagonal lines or something like that. So let's maybe make this one into a diagonal shape just because it's in the same line as this little thingy here. Maybe something like this, another one in the middle maybe. And then towards the edges we also need like some of them, because otherwise when we look from the top, yeah, you can see we have like some areas that are kind of empty, like when we look at the texture. So maybe we can make this a little bit more full. And also you can kind of, oh yeah, since we're not mirroring, this is actually good. If we were mirroring, we would have this voxel at the same line here, and that would like really break our pattern. So just adding a couple of stuff in the corners, and now we can add some of these darker voxels in as well, just here and there. Now we have like this line going across. I don't know if I like that. Let's see. Okay, so this looks like something, I guess. We could also use here on the side a couple of brighter voxels, just here and there. So I guess we weren't mirroring, so I'm just gonna randomly add them. But this kind of looks like a grass dirt block. At least I hope so. So we haven't been working for like 50 minutes for no good reason. So let me just save that, and I guess we can test it out in the game maker to kind of compare it with the what Sandbox already has in store. So let's export. And I guess while we're waiting for that, I can... Okay, we need to log in. Weird. Oops. Let's see. Okay, so this is gonna be a new asset. Okay, continue. Okay, so I think it should be available in the game maker if I'm correct. So let's go here. Let's go into the library. Let's type grass again. Okay, so apparently it's not updating. Let me just... I guess we can save, right? Just so we keep these dirt blocks that we have already placed. Then let's quit, and then we'll just relaunch the experience. And while we're at it, I'm just gonna take a quick sip of my water. Okay, much better. So here we have our blocks. Maybe we can move the spawn a little bit closer just so we don't have to walk 1,000 miles to get to them. And now let's see, I think it was dirt. Oh, grass dirt. Okay, so that's our block. Let's see. Oh, wrong buttons. So it definitely has less texture on the top, so maybe that's something that we can like change or improve. But on the side it looks pretty fine. It has a little bit more grass than these other ones. And also the colors don't stick out as much as they might look to be in the Vox edit. So that's another thing that I kind of really like, because now we're actually getting like pretty decent dirt texture, at least in my opinion. So I'm quite satisfied with what we have managed to accomplish. But now let's try to just make the top a little bit different, and I guess we can save this. Okay, let's get back to Vox edit, and then now you can see we had like more of these dots, but the reference dirt or grass block had more of this. I mean, it had some of these larger areas of the same color, so I think we can take some ideas from that just to make it look a little bit more interesting still. So we can add some patches of this brighter color. Let's see where else we can do that. Maybe there. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I guess that's pretty fine as far as the brighter colors are concerned, and then we can add some more details even with the brightest shade. So there's that. No, I don't think there's any fixing like this little line or this, because it's just on the edge. But we'll see. These patches might actually be a little bit too small in the end. We'll see how they turn out when we compare it to the rest. And also we can try some of these other shades, so maybe we can add some details with this green. Just kind of need to figure out when and where it would kind of look good if we were to add it. I mean, one option is to just kind of throw it around, but now I don't know. This might look a little bit better if we use just the same palette, just a little bit brighter colors. So something like that. Maybe a dot here, a dot there. And then for these darker shades, I guess we can go one step darker just to make it look a little bit more diverse. So that's one option. I guess before we do like too much, we can try to save this and kind of see what it looks like. And also, actually I think it would look just fine if we added some of these textures on the edge, because otherwise I mean, it just kind of looks weird if we have like this tight area and then like, let's see. You can kind of see it already, like that there's some stuff missing on this line and then on this line as well. So I think adding some of these imperfections might help on this aspect as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So there's that. And then maybe we can add some of these brighter thingies, maybe more towards the corners and something like that. So here it kind of connects to this voxel that we already had, but now it kind of makes a little bit more sense. And then also, as you can see, most of these darker patches are more towards the top left. So maybe we can try to squeeze something in this area as well. So let me see if there are any like voxels that could be like merged like this one, but since we don't have them really here, we can just try to do something like this. Cool. So now let's try to export this again and replace the old asset, and we'll see what this looks like in the game maker. if it helps or not so much. I mean, I kind of like going into this direction, but we'll see if we need to make like these patches a little bit bigger, or they like kind of mesh in between a little bit more, because now you can kind of distinguish them from one another. And if we look at the, I mean, you can kind of see that there is one base color and that the rest is placed onto it, and we'll see if that's like the looks that we want to go for, or if we want to change that a little bit. So that should be updated. Let's go to the game maker. I think we need to quit and then relaunch, just so the assets are kind of updated. Let me go here, edit, and let's wait for the game to load. So it hasn't updated yet. Let me try to restart. No? Okay, we're still left with the same. Huh, that's interesting. So perhaps if we were to, if we place the new ones, nope. So the model hasn't been recognized as a new one. So let me quit, and yeah, this, so kind of what we, or what I went a little bit overboard was to make like these patches, where in reality, or like kind of what I was trying to go for, would be more of these kind of stretched out textures in between them. So I'm not really sure whether, I guess we can just retry this whole thing, because I think we went a little bit too much into a wrong direction, to be honest. So now I guess we can try the third option. That's kind of like placing the brightest and the darkest spots, and then we kind of, well, you'll see. I think it's easier if I just try making it and then explain as I go along. So there we have, like, again, kind of some of these darkest colors. And then here we have some of these brightest shades of this green that we have been using for our base. And now I guess around the brighter ones, we kind of try to make some AA, I guess, just going into different directions. Oops. Something like that, maybe. Okay. Then maybe it goes like here. So we'll see how this would turn out, and hopefully after we do this, oh no, we would also be able to kind of update our model in game. So we would actually be able to compare it to the bases, or like the baseline. See, just something like that. Maybe it can be done like this. So we're kind of trying to make this work. Oh, come on. Just some just some misclicks. It happens. Then something like this. Perhaps. Okay, so now we have like some grid line or something like that. And now where we are left with like these empty spaces in between of them, now we can add like some minor details, and I think we can just use the line tool to kind of so if we want to draw like some shapes like this, it can go a little bit faster if we use this tool compared to the box tool, right? Just trying to use the correct terms, or actually what they are labeled in the Vox edit. So this is like I don't know, this is like the third style that we're going for, and I think it kind of brings a good, like there's some of these smaller voxels that are just more of a texturing thingy, and then there are some of these bigger patches, but they are more stretched out or something like that. I'm not entirely sure how to explain it, but they're more, I don't know, centered around this. I mean, before they were more like circular or just a cube, but now they're a little bit more dynamic. So just something like this looks pretty fine. And now let's keep our fingers crossed, yeah, that the update will go through, so we can actually check it in the game maker. So replace asset. So I'm never really sure how many steps I need to confirm for it to be updated. So we'll see, hopefully this time it goes through. And okay, still not updated. What about now? Nope. Okay, so I don't know if that's just some issue with the blocks. But here in the thumbnail we can see, at least I think I can see the updated image. Okay, you can see it too. Weird. Let's to get rid of that. And if I, okay, so that's that's actually really weird. You can see here in the thumbnail that we have these patches on the top, but in the game maker they aren't reflected. Maybe if we save it, probably just our local file needs to be updated or something like this. I'm not too sure. Okay, I don't know. Maybe if we restart the whole thing, maybe then we can see. Oh, where are the blocks? Let me quit. Okay, thank you. And Sandbox. Hopefully second time's the charm, right? And okay, let's log in. Let's open. That's a weird thumbnail because I had a block in like, oh, okay, so now we have it. Interesting. Indeed, it looks a little bit too messy actually. and we can reduce that a little bit. But I mean, it doesn't look as smooth as this one, but okay. There are a couple of options what we can do. So at least that helped. We have figured out a way to trick it into displaying the updated versions. So here we either have an option to kind of go even more into this direction, to kind of start maybe even connecting them one to another, or to make it a little bit less like standing out or something like that. So I think at this point, let me see. Oh, that's the... so I guess we can try to like connect some of these together. Let's see what we would end up with in that case. So we could maybe... I don't know. This might be a bit too much. So I'm just kind of trying to... So they were... I think I'm trying to figure out what actually didn't feel right when we had that in the game maker, and I think the problem is that all of these shapes are like 90 degrees rotated, so it's either vertical or horizontal. You don't have like any diagonal shapes apart of maybe this one here and this one there. So maybe if we can try to make them spread into a bit different variety of directions, maybe that can help with the overall feeling. Because I mean, I'm kind of satisfied. These are like just the final touches, like how we can make it look or feel even more natural or something like that. So maybe let's add one voxel there. So maybe make it like this. Maybe this can go a bit diagonally. Just trying to break this monotony. So this would hopefully help. Something like that. Maybe some of these lines can be made a little bit thicker, or like a little bit more color from time to time. So maybe make it like this. Also this shape looks pretty rigid, so maybe something like that would help. Like this. What else can we do? So it just kind of spreads a little bit more naturally. I'm just hoping that the color schemes aren't too problematic for the game maker, and we can also add some of these brighter and like brightest and darkest greens. We don't have to use them. At least I don't think so. We don't have to use them as sparingly. So like this. And maybe let's break this apart a little bit. So let's try to check this out here. Kind of see what it looks like. I mean, it doesn't look too terrible. It's just that the shapes might be, or like the greens, maybe we can try some other ones just for the sake of it. Let's see. So maybe if we were, let's see. I think we could add some more different greens, that might also help it. I'm just also again kind of trying to figure out where they would be appropriate to use. And also I think on this top side we should kind of use mostly like bright colors. So maybe the problem is actually these darker greens, and we can try to replace them with these greens from a different palette to kind of see what this would look like. So maybe we can leave a couple of them here and there just for the sake of it. Well, actually, if we're gonna replace all of these, I don't know. Let's see. So maybe something like this, and then we can add a dark voxel or two. Or not. I haven't decided on that one yet. Oops, we have covered the bright one. And also let's I mean we haven't covered them fully here on the bottom half, but we have on the top side, so let's add a couple of these darker voxels here and there, but again not too many. And now if we check it out, this might look pretty good. Let us try to export this to the marketplace now, but we'll see if these shades look a little bit too bright, although it might look good, like maybe some flowers or something like that. We'll see. Let's allow ourselves to be surprised. So the updated version is there, and now I guess we can first try to relaunch it, but if it doesn't work, yeah, so that's the old version. And maybe I'm just gonna do a quick print screen just if I want to compare them later on. Yeah, I don't know why I have pressed save right now. That is a mistake. And now here again we can see that the thumbnail picture is indeed updated, but the model isn't, so I guess we need to restart the whole thing again. Yeah, you see the blocks have like some improvements to happen to them. It wouldn't hurt too much. I don't know whether, or perhaps I'm just unlucky with them, and they work as intended to other people, so in that case good for them, but I'm just a little bit unlucky in that case. So let's get that into our map and let's see if there are some changes. Okay, so now we definitely have a different looking grass. As mentioned, these brighter colors kind of stick out. It's not too problematic in my opinion. There's just kind of lots of them. I mean, it kind of looks like a starry sky or something like that, so perhaps we can try to reduce that a little bit, but other than that, I think also maybe some of these shapes we can make a little bit shorter, because they're kind of apparent where you look at it from above. But I doubt anybody is gonna spend like a couple of hours looking at these grass tiles and just I don't know, judging them. So let's go back to Vox Edit. And I think the most problematic was this one, because like this round shape is quite apparent. So I think if we were just to break it up a little bit like this, it would help. And then maybe something here as well. And now we need to kind of figure out what we want to do with these brightest colors, because I don't think I want to use that many. So one option would be to use the brightest one from here, and I think this might just work pretty decently. Also, let's kind of keep in mind, so these bright colors still need to be like distributed evenly, just a little bit less dense. So if we were to just replace these, it would kind of look weird in the pattern, where we would only have the bright colors in the like bottom right corner. So let's kind of try to be smart about that. Maybe let's change that one. Maybe let's change this one. So we have like a couple going on there. Then maybe these two as well. I don't know what's gonna happen with this shape when we like put all this stuff together, but I think it looks pretty good that we have only 5 like here. Yeah, I kind of like it. So I think we could add even some more noise just to kind of take attention away from these bigger shapes. Which have become kind of apparent, at least in my opinion. You can see this one especially is like pretty visible, and then this one at the top as well. So we're kind of trying to minimize the impact of these two shapes, and I doubt it helps that we have connected these two together. Oh, hi Abar, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I mean, talking about details, we have been working on this block for almost 90 minutes, and especially for this top part, because it's gonna be like mostly visible to the players. I'm just kind of trying to make it, yeah, I'm trying to kind of make it like natural looking, so yeah, we'll see how good do we manage to be with that. And I think if we add just some of these more different colors here and there, they might just help us break some shapes and stuff like that. And definitely let's break this apart. So we got something like that going on. And now I think we can go ahead again and try to export it to the marketplace and test it in the game maker. So while we're waiting for the game maker window to pop up, I think we can just close the game maker, because we have figured out that without relaunching the whole thing, it kind of doesn't update our block models. It only updates the thumbnail, and well, that's a problem when you wanna test some stuff in the game maker. So let me replace here, and I guess we can start relaunching the game maker already, because it takes some time, and I imagine it's not like the most entertaining stuff to watch the line going from left to right when the assets are being loaded. Okay, so we got that. And let's go here. Okay, so this is the new texture, and I quite like it, because when you look at it like quickly, you don't see any specific patterns. The only minor thingy that we could do is you can kind of see here we have a little bit of an issue, especially on these vertical lines. They appear to be kind of empty compared to the rest. So I think there's like a little room for improvement still. And also here you can kind of see where it goes across, but that's not really that big of a problem. I mean, again, I don't think like there's gonna be, well, there might be somebody that like goes here and then, let's see how good these patterns are. But other than that, I think we have captured like what I was going for, or like what we were trying to get, so it kind of looks homogeneous when you zoom out and put all of them together. Now, as you can see, especially this part is kind of left without any details. So let us quickly try to change that. Let's make it like so. Then we can add some details here as well. And then another thing that would kind of be cool would be if we could like maybe continue some pattern from this side over to the other one. So basically we start it here and then it finishes off on the other side. And then let's change this voxel to be kind of the same color as its neighbor. And now here again we can place like a little this detail. Here we have this L shape, and then maybe okay, so on this side we already have that, but here on the top maybe we can add just, I don't know, something like the maybe let's add it, come on, let's add it here just so it's connected to this part. And then maybe let's extend this upwards a little bit. Okay, so we have this part also kind of better. Maybe we can make it better still. And yeah, I think that's more or less done. Let's not quit, let's save first, of course, and then let's export this as our final block, and let's also relaunch the Sandbox maker just so we can try it out in game as well. So replace asset, okay. Let's log in. I guess it's a little bit hectic since I'm working on two screens and you can only see one, so that case, but let's see if our block is updated. I'm actually not sure because we haven't made that many changes, but if you look at it, I think these intersections in between lines are a little bit less apparent. And here we have, like, just for comparison, the default Sandbox dirt blocks. Yeah, I think I think I have pronounced that correctly. Yeah, so there's our first block for the game that we're gonna be making, and hopefully many more blocks arrive soon, just so we can actually start building the map. I mean, right now it's just built from the stock blocks, but later on we can actually use our own blocks to build this map. And actually, I don't really see, like, the okay, maybe we can try to I don't know. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here for today, because I have an exam tomorrow, so hopefully I manage to study a bit for that as well, and I guess we'll go ahead and make some more blocks next time. So the most obvious thing that we're gonna do is gonna be kind of removing this grass part from the dirt block, just so we have like a neutral dirt block, and then we'll see what our spreadsheet has in store for us that we need to build next. So thanks for watching. Sorry if you were hoping for a little bit longer stream, but sadly we have exams in June, so that makes it a little bit more dicey from that aspect. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya! Bye!